vacate the belt, or did you guys say, if you're moving to lightweight, then we don't want to hold up the featherweight division?
The undefeated Monarch's reign is crumbling. His marriage is in ruins. His title is gone, and rivals are circling like sharks. Dana White has finally broken his silence on the reality regarding Ilia Topuria's championship. Yet insiders are revealing a massive UFC cover-up. Everything you have been told is a lie. The shocking announcement that shifted the landscape. Dana White didn't hint or imply. He dropped a nuclear bombshell that sent tremors through the UFC fanbase. What he disclosed behind closed doors is so wild, unprecedented, and messy that veteran insiders call this the most chaotic featherweight drama in years, as Ilia Topuria has formally lost his UFC crown. The most disturbing part, sources inside the promotion say Dana isn't just reacting to Ilia's behavior. He is effectively punishing him. Ladies and gentlemen, what I am telling you will rock the foundations of mixed martial arts entirely. This isn't a drill, it isn't clickbait, and it certainly isn't a fake rumor for views. This is the cold, undeniable truth of what just transpired in the lightweight division. Believe me, the ramifications of this decision, the shockwaves hitting the combat sports world, will be felt for months, if not years. Before we dive headfirst into the chaos erupting in the MMA community, you must grasp something vital about the man at the epicenter of this storm. Ilia Topuria isn't just a normal fighter who strung together a few wins. No. This is a man who has never once tasted defeat in his entire professional career. We are talking about an immaculate 17-0 record, with 7 devastating KOs and 8 masterful submissions like badges of honor. This is the warrior who walked into the cage against Alexander Volkanovski and knocked him out cold to claim the throne. He defended that belt against the legendary Max Holloway in spectacular fashion. Then he moved up and demolished.
Did he vacate the belt, or did you guys say, if you're moving to lightweight, then we don't want to hold up the featherweight division?
No, he did that. He said, I've done everything I can do here. I'm ready to move up. And he vacated it. He said, I shouldn't be holding up anybody's opportunities. And, you know, it's always, I respect when guys do that.
Charles Oliveira, a lightweight legend in the very first round. But here's where things get incredibly compelling. The burning question on every MMA fan's lips across the globe is this: did Dana White and the UFC officially strip Ilia Topuria, or did Topuria of his own volition freely walk away? Let me explain exactly what happened, because the truth is far more nuanced than headlines suggest. Dana White addressed this directly, telling the media what transpired inside. When asked point-blank if Topuria vacated or was stripped, Dana was unequivocal. Now really let that statement sink in. According to Dana White, this was entirely Topuria's decision. The champion surveyed the division and his accomplishments, then made the mature, noble choice to step aside so other fighters could compete for gold. But here's where the story takes a wild, dramatic turn. There is a completely different narrative floating around from UFC insider Chael Sonnen. According to Sonnen's analysis, what Dana presented as a voluntary vacate was actually calculated politics. Sonnen suggests the UFC made the call to strip Topuria, but framed it as a voluntary move to save face and avoid the PR nightmare of stripping a star. If true, we witnessed a masterclass in strategic communication from the UFC. They got a vacated belt to move the division forward, while allowing Topuria to maintain his reputation as selfless. The timing is absolutely key here. In February 2025, Dana announced Topuria was vacating to move to lightweight, an announcement—
Unless you think you can, defend your title. Listen, if there's a guy that thinks he can do it and wants to defend both belts and has accomplished all these great things, I would have no problem with it. But you're going to be busy.
Now we must address the massive elephant in the room. Ilia Topuria is currently going through an incredibly difficult, painful period in his personal life. In late November 2025, the champion announced he would step away from competition until 2026. The reason? A devastating divorce that has left him emotionally drained, forcing him to prioritize his children over fighting. His official statement was heartbreaking in its vulnerability. Having established the facts, we need to dig deep into what is happening behind the scenes with Ilia personally. The headlines don't even scratch the surface of the human tragedy unfolding here. Ilia Topuria and his wife, Georgina Izkatagi Badel, were the picture-perfect MMA power couple. She is a Venezuelan businesswoman, daughter of billionaire Abraham Izkatagi, owning companies in food and logistics. Was he talking about his wife when he made that statement? Was this a cryptic way of telling the world that the woman he trusted with his heart had betrayed him? The MMA community was desperate for answers, and they were about to receive them. By early November 2025, Spanish media reported Georgina had officially filed for divorce, reportedly seeking a full 50% of Topuria's assets. When you consider Topuria's net worth is between 5 divergent defensive ventures like UFC with Cristiano Ronaldo, you see how messy this is. The allegations flying back and forth are brutal. There are claims of infidelity on Topuria's side, and a bizarre twist where a completely fabricated viral photo of Georgina with a rapper caused chaos before being debunked. Speaking of that fake photo, it even caught the attention of Joe Rogan, who had harsh words before realizing the image was false, leading to speculation about how the couple originally met. I am not here to spread unverified gossip, but the divorce proceedings are private.
And this dates back multiple years ago in London, when Paddy was 155 and Ilia was still 145, and they were talking way back then.
When I saw him last time, he got a hand sanitizer bottle bounced off his pod.
I don't understand you or anything. Back in the flouty mountain, cloudy like what?
Hand sanitizer,
Sean O'Malley expressed genuine empathy regarding the public nature of the split. Even bitter rival Paddy Pimblett put aside their feud to show humanity and wish him the best with his family. This is what makes the MMA community special. They beat each other senseless, yet rally around one of their own during personal hardship. But as I compile this story, remember that Tom Aspinall named Topuria the 2020. Despite the turmoil, his accomplishments beating Volkanovski, Holloway, and Oliveira remain extraordinary. Now, we arrive at the Paddy Pimblett saga. The ongoing feud involves heated accusations about contracts being signed or, as Pimblett claims, deliberately avoided. This beef goes back to 2022 insults and the infamous hand sanitizer boy hotel scuffle. Pimblett, coming off a 7-fight win streak including victories over Bobby Green and Michael Chandler, believed he earned a title shot. Michael Bisping offers perspective here, noting that calling out unsigned contracts is often just a promotional trick. Dana White denied a finalized fight, but acknowledged negotiations were happening. The UFC clearly wanted this massive grudge match, but then Topuria's life imploded. The UFC had to pivot, booking an interim lightweight title fight between Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje for UFC 3024 on January 24, 2026. Gaethje has made it clear he plans to ruin the party. So, what does the future hold for Ilia Topuria? Despite the vacated belt and personal turmoil, his legacy is secure. He is ranked number 2 pound for pound.
Now, before we get excited about this, there's a few things to consider. Fighters do this. You know the amount of times fighters have said to me, why haven't you signed the contract? Okay, and I'm like, what contract are you talking about, dickhead? There hasn't been a contract sent. Fighters do it all the time. They have a bit of fun. They wind up their opponents. They try and make them look bad to the public, okay? Tries to make them look like they are ducking, okay?
Arguably number 1. There is even talk of him eventually moving to welterweight to pursue a historic 3rd belt. When Topuria returns to active competition, if Pimblett holds the interim belt, we finally get the grudge match. If Gaethje pulls off the upset, we get an explosive clash of strikers. But perhaps the most important thing to remember is the human element. Ilia Topuria isn't just a machine. He is a father navigating a painful divorce. The fact that he stepped aside to not hold up the division speaks volumes about his character. As Topuria himself said, "I don't want to hold up the division. That is the mark of a true champion." The belt is ultimately just a footnote in a legendary career. Ilia will be back, and when he returns, he will remind everyone why he is one of the greatest. Until then, let's give the man the space he needs. Il Matador has more important battles to fight, and those happen outside the octagon.